So, can money actually buy happiness? I mean, it's one of the oldest questions in the book, right? And we all have a gut feeling about it. But the real answer, when you dig into decades of research, is so much more surprising and, honestly, more useful than a simple yes or no. So let's really unpack what the science has to say.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to tackle this in 4 parts. First, we'll dive into this weird thing called the happiness paradox, why entire countries getting richer doesn't seem to make people happier. Then we'll get practical and look at some smarter, science-backed ways to spend your money. After that, we'll uncover a really cool secret about matching your spending to your personality. And finally, we'll wrap it all up by talking about a more mindful approach to your finances and your life.
So let's kick things off with this central puzzle. It's something that has fascinated economists for almost 50 years, mainly because it just completely flips our basic assumptions about income and well-being on their head.
But for real, I want you to just think about that for a second. What's your gut reaction? What's the number that pops into your head? The amount that you think would genuinely make a difference in your life. Because this isn't some abstract thought experiment. It's something we all wrestle with.
I mean, check out this comment from a user on Reddit. It's just so real. This person is making about $700 a week, just scraping by, and they can name the exact figure that they feel would take them from stressed to happy. And that makes total sense. But what happens when everyone starts making more?
And this is where we hit our first big twist. It's called the Easterlin paradox. It's kind of a 2-part idea. On one hand, if you take a snapshot of any country at any given time, yeah, richer people tend to be happier than poorer people. No big surprise. But here's the paradox. Over the long haul, as an entire country gets richer and richer, the average happiness level doesn't budge. And this chart just lays it all out, plain and simple. Look at the US over nearly 70 years. Real income more than tripled. That's a huge surge in national wealth. But now look at the line for average happiness. It's totally flat. All that extra money as a country didn't add up to more happiness. So what gives? Well, researchers have a couple of big theories. The first one is social comparison. Turns out we don't really care about how much we have in absolute terms. We care about how much we have compared to everyone else. So if you and your neighbor both get a big raise, you're both richer, but nobody feels like they've gotten ahead. The second idea is called hedonic adaptation, or what you might know as the hedonic treadmill. You get the new iPhone, the bigger TV, and it's awesome. For a little while, then you just get used to it. It becomes the new normal, and you start looking for that next hit of happiness. Okay, so if just earning more and more isn't the magic bullet, then what is? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. It seems the key isn't how much money you have, but how you use it. And this, right here, is a total game changer. It reframes the whole problem. The issue isn't money itself, it might just be our spending strategy. And the good news is, research suggests that if we're a little more deliberate, we can get a way better happiness return on every dollar we spend. And lucky for us, the science gives us a cheat sheet with 3 powerful strategies. Number 1, spend on other people. Seriously, giving to a cause you care about or even just buying a friend a coffee gives you a happiness boost. Number 2, buy experiences, not things. And number 3, this one's a bit of a secret weapon, buy yourself more time by paying someone to do tasks you hate. Let's really unpack that experiences versus stuff idea, because it's a big one. So why does a trip or a concert stick with us longer than a new watch? Well, for one, we get used to new things really fast. That new TV just becomes the TV. But memories, we adapt to those much slower. Plus, experiences are often social. We do them with people we love, and they end up becoming a part of who we are, part of our life story.
And this idea of buying time, whoa, it's way more powerful than you might think. In one study, they gave people $40. One group had to buy an object. The other group had to spend it in a way that saved them time, like getting takeout instead of cooking, or paying for a cleaning service. The result? The time-saving group felt way happier, mostly because it just lowered their stress levels. They literally bought a little peace of mind.
But hold on, because this is where we get to the real secret sauce. Beyond these general rules, there's an even deeper layer to this, making sure your spending actually lines up with your own unique personality.
The fancy term for this is psychological fit, but the idea is super simple. Think about it. We all know people are happier in jobs or relationships that are a good fit for them, right? Well, it turns out the exact same thing is true for what we buy. Spending money is a way we express ourselves, and when that expression feels authentic, it makes us feel good. In this experiment, it's just perfect. It shows this idea in action so clearly.
Researchers gave introverts and extroverts vouchers to spend at either a quiet bookshop or a lively bar. And look what happened. When the introverts got the bookshop voucher, a purchase that fit them, their happiness went up. But the bar voucher did nothing for them. And for the extroverts, it was the complete opposite. The bar voucher was a happiness hit, while the bookshop voucher was a dud.
I mean, the researchers themselves said it best in their paper. It's not just about buying an experience, it's about buying the right experience for you. This is where the connection between money and happiness gets really personal and really powerful.
All right, so let's pull the camera back a bit. We've been talking about specific ways to spend, but real, lasting well-being comes from something bigger. It's about cultivating a healthier overall mindset, the art of financial wellness.
And here's a really useful way to think about it. This whole thing is a practice. And like any good practice, it's about subtraction and addition. To build a healthier relationship with money, we first have to clear out the mental junk that's holding us back. So what do we need to let go of? Well, 3 of the biggest culprits are comparing and competing. That's that social comparison treadmill we talked about, and it is a game you will never, ever win. Second is blaming the economy, our boss, whatever, because it just makes us feel powerless. And third is judging ourselves or other people for money choices. It doesn't help, it just creates shame and stress.
And once we start clearing out that junk, we can start building some really powerful mindful habits. Here are 4 great ones to start with. 1. Just pause before you buy. Ask yourself, why am I really doing this? 2. Know your triggers. Are you shopping because you're bored, stressed, lonely? 3. Look back at your purchases. Was it worth it? What did it teach you? And 4. Create a conscious spending plan. This isn't a restrictive budget. It's a roadmap that directs your money toward the things you truly value in life.
You know, at the end of the day, all of this leads to one thing: financial resilience. This is your ability to handle it when life throws you a curveball, and it always does. It's about having the security and the peace of mind to know that you can weather a storm. That's a huge part of happiness. So I'm going to leave you with one last question to chew on. Think about it. Your spending tells a story. Every single transaction, from your morning coffee to your monthly rent, is a sentence in that story. If you were to read your bank statement like a book, would you like the story it's telling?